let's start. Salam! Thanks for tuning in to the Thinkwork podcast. It feels like coming out of the blue, so let me tell you what the Thinkwork podcast is all about. The name Thinkwork podcast, why and where does it come from? My first job experience was a corporate job as a consultant. It was a big opportunity for me to step in the professional environment and actually function in a professional team. I have a reflecting personality and I love to take my time to reflect on myself. I am also religious, and reflecting was a way for me to heal myself as well. But because the corporate world was very new for me, I had to make a switch from my reflecting personality to an adapting, hustling personality. So all the thinking had to wait. So what I did was making a list about all the topics that I want to learn and think about under the header of the Thinkwork. I feel really weird for saying this, but after I was done with working, I took my actually, why is it weird? It's not weird at all. After I was done with working, I took the list and started reading and learning about these topics and reflect. Before I even dig deeper into this introduction, let me tell you about myself. I'm Tusem. I'm Turkish Belgian. I'm a Muslim, a cat lady. I have 3 cats, Nila, Dewey, and Cairo. I like to travel solo when I get the chance and kind of hate small talks. I feel so awkward every time. I'm for almost 2 years in the tech industry and hopefully will keep growing my career in this industry as well. As you already heard, English is not my mother tongue. I mostly speak Turkish, and Turkish people are very known for their heavy Turkish accent, and I do my best to hide it. How am I doing so far? Let me know. But anyways, I want to take a moment to express my gratitude to Netflix and YouTube. Well, since my teenage years, I always loved to read and show off in conversations about the most random facts that I learned. I immediately think about the TikToks that were made from the Netflix show Kunk on Earth, where basically the random persons just in the conversation, the Egyptians believed the most significant thing you can do in your life was die. That person was me. But then a lot of people maybe can relate to this. After I got my first phone, which was an iPhone, I think I was 17, I started to change. So with my iPhone in my hand that yearly upgraded, my need for learning was met by social media. With my phone, it was a lot of easier to face uncomfortable situations or even like daily basic situations like waiting for the bus. In my career in tech, but also during my studies, I struggled with finding role models. Well, I had anti-role models. I knew what I don't want to be like. I was also not really active in any community besides the youth organization I was volunteering at, but there I felt like more giving than taking. I was once invited to a guest speaker in a woman in tech community, and I remember I said, as a woman in tech and as a visible Muslim, I felt like a unicorn in my environment. But instead of just crying about it in a corner, I started to look for communities with a high rate of diversity, because diversity itself is our common trait as humans. And thank God I did. I found many communities and met many inspiring and powerful women. I found something that I really craved for. All the quality talks I had within these communities drove me to take the initiative, the Thinkwork podcast. I want to keep growing in this diversity factor. I want to float away from the mainstream content we see daily and produce content where diverse women can feel the relevance. Well, what do you mean exactly, Tusem? You say maybe? I'll talk about courageous role model from history like Fatima al-Fihri. She's a woman who found the first university in history. I'll also talk about role models like Malcolm X, the black rights leader in America. I'll talk about topics from IT, psychological theories, entrepreneurship, and culture. I see the Thinkwork podcast as a way of creating an end product of research that I did for each episode. And hopefully that will inspire you as well. Money and financial well-being is a topic that was not really taught to me in high school. I don't know how it is now in the educational system curriculum, but I want to share my journey here also about my learnings in personal finance as well. Over time, in many networking events, I met very inspiring women from different cultures and different professions, whom I will have the honor to host on the Thinkwork podcast. My first guest is a very special woman who is doing her PhD research in AI, and I can't wait to introduce her. There is something that I need to explain. As I already mentioned in the beginning, I am a Muslim woman. I have also a background in Islamic studies, which made me have an insight of both dunyas, the worlds, at the same time. I feel truly lucky to have these insights, and I always strived for, because of this, for the balance between those two dunyas. By this I mean, where and how can I situate my faith in Islam, in my life, in the business world, in my friends and family. This became a way of living to me and a part of my identity. I ask a lot of friends and acquaintances how not to exclude anyone while also sticking to my identity as a Muslim. And thanks to them, I realized I just need to keep myself authentic and listen to everyone at the same time. And that is exactly what I will be doing on the Thinkwork podcast. So, that being said, I hope this podcast will be beneficial for you and for me. If you have any value from this introduction and you think we might have a click, please hit the follow button on whatever platform you're listening from. You can also follow me or say hi on the Thinkwork Instagram page. I will link it on the description. There you have it. Oh my god. I'll be here every week with a new episode with some Thinkwork to do. See you.